in lovers' eyes. The return of the thin white juke, making sure white stains. Once there were mountains on mountains, and once there were sunbirds who soar with, and once I could never be down. Got to keep searching and searching, and oh, what will I be believing?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the EdgeStream. It's good to be back here. It's been about a month since I've streamed, but we have a great stream for you here tonight. So buckle in. It's going to get edgy. We're going to parse out some good information here. Yeah. We're live right now on YouTube, Rumble, Entropy, and Twitter. I see a few people in the chat. Johnny Rodden, A-Bomb, PlayStation Gaming, Warren G. Yeah, we're playing some David Bowie tonight. That's all the songs I got loaded up for any breaks, intros, or outros. On Rumble, we got Madam Breezy, Shamrock Shake, Dr. Genstein, Poor Simple Mike, Verbal Armament, DG383, Koala Mama in it for love. Yeah, we edging here tonight. Yeah, what topics do we have going here tonight? Well, for one, I want to shill the new documentary fundraiser project that I have going on. It is about my father. I'm making a documentary film honoring his legacy and also educating people about Parkinson's disease, which he has fought for 25 years with Parkinson's disease. So I'll be showing you guys that shortly. I have a whole bunch of crazy shit that is going to be, I don't know, fun, entertaining, informative, about Jews, probably, for a lot of it. The anniversary of the Humboldt bus crash of 2018 in Saskatchewan, the 8th anniversary of that crash happened recently. I know Second Sons released a video that commemorated it. So at the end of this stream, for the last portion, we're going to do a deep dive into like what actually went into that. What factors caused that? What did the trucking company that Jaskrit Singh Sidhu, I believe his name is, what kind of infractions were they dealing with? What kind of jeetery were they up to? We know that they shouldn't have been there, but it's to another level when you see what was actually going on behind the scenes. And the fact that the mainstream media barely, if ever, reported on the absolute corruption, the carelessness, the homicidal recklessness that went into these trucking companies and many others out there like them that these Indians brought to Canada. People would be going nuts if they knew more about it. But of course the mainstream media covers for them. In fact, they do sob stories about the driver who killed 16 and brutally injured 13 more, permanently altering their lives and the lives of all their families. CBC runs sob stories now about Jaskrit Singh Sidhu and about how he may get deported like 5 years from now after he fights every single order of deportation. So that's what we're dealing with here in Canada. Oh, and the other topic is, of course, as the title says, MAID in Canada. And because I'm going to be showing you the documentary fundraiser about my father, it does make me think about MAID and how, like, I know he, as well as many other people who suffer from Parkinson's disease, they go through a lot of suffering. And doctors are constantly offering you MAID. It's like you stub your toe. Have you tried MAID? Have you thought about MAID? Medically assisted induction of death. I don't even know what MAID means. MAID, medical assistance in dying. Yeah. But I guess my point about covering MAID tonight is, yeah, there's a lot of people suffering out there. And in some cases, I would say yeah, if you want to take your own life because it's better to do that than to be in the suffering you're in. I can imagine that, especially people who are near death. Like, I'm not totally anti-MAID, but I'm against it in most cases. And I think, especially in Canada, like, our economy is getting so tanked. The standard of living that we are living under right now is tanking so hard that this has become the alternative. You know, we pride ourselves on being like a socialist country, not like actual socialist, but, you know, much more so than, say, America. Less libertarian. You know, we're the loyalists. We're the loyalists. We're not the revolutionaries. But that being said, we're going to go kill all our own people. We're going to lead the world in medical assistance in dying. Okay, we'll get into that. We'll do the deep dive into that. I have all the information on where this country is going with that. Johnny Rodden says, just had a kid I know get shot by an Asian last night. I did hear something about that. Yeah, I would love to hear like a good news story about that to get to the bottom of that, because I heard there was some fuckery going on there. Dr. Genstein sends a super chat on Rumble, says, you're getting fat. Wow, he's already negging me. He's already, you know, he's already poking my fat. Wow. Well, if we want to turn this into a positive thing, you guys can donate on Rumble if you want, like he just did, in order to call me fat. You could do that too as well, you know. Just make sure you send a good super chat with a lot of money in it if you're going to do something like that. But more importantly, I want to show you the documentary fundraiser that I'm working on. So this is a very personal project. You might tear up a little bit when watching this. Probably not. But I know when I first showed Lee this trailer, this concept trailer for this short film. It's not going to be that short. It's probably going to be like half an hour long, actually. So a pretty long short film documentary. When I first showed her the trailer that I had cooked up, she cried within the first 30-40 seconds, and we had to pause it. We had to take a break. So I'm not tooting my own horn here, but I think this is some powerful stuff. I know that I teared up many times throughout the process of making this trailer, of conceiving of this whole project, of just dealing with this situation as a whole, having to deal with Parkinson's as a loved one, as a caregiver. It puts a huge toll on everyone, especially, obviously, the person who has it. But I'll just let the trailer and the pitch for the fundraiser speak for itself. So I'm going to play that right now.
What was I before in my first life? I measure my life in 2 phases, before and with PD.
What is Parkinson's disease?
Each patient has their own version of Parkinson's, their own story to tell.
I am the face of Parkinson's. When I've crashed my bike and I'm down, I get up myself or begrudgingly accept offered assistance. I am the face of Parkinson's. You who are here today and tomorrow, you are the face of Parkinson's. Every day we show the world what we are about.
Anytime you do anything, you're beating back Parkinson's. Whole world's gonna know I'm the hoochie coochie man. 'Cause I'm here. I was told I was going over 70 kilometers an hour. I'm not drunk. Deadlift, I did 460. Squat, I did 470. Bench press, I did 310. People have to stop feeling sorry for themselves. I'm the shaky man. This Parkinson's is a real bitch. Slam bang man. Where do you not want to be if you have Parkinson's? You're getting to know a lot about me in a short time.
Hi, I'm Dan. As a filmmaker, I've spent my career telling stories that challenge the status quo, but the most important story I've ever encountered is the one happening right in my own family. For 25 years, I've watched my father Nelson turn a Parkinson's diagnosis into a masterclass of resilience. From national championship weightlifting stages to writing books that help others defeat the darkness. But as many of you know, Parkinson's is a relentless opponent. This past year, my father's battle has moved into a new chapter, one that is much quieter and more difficult. We have hours of incredible footage from his high-intensity years, including the 2023 charity ride where he refused to stay on the sidelines. But that story isn't finished. I need to capture the story behind his strength by interviewing the friends, athletes, and medical experts who saw his journey up close. We'll also sit down with medical experts to bridge the gap between his personal struggle and the global search for a cure. I'm launching this Give Send Go to raise $15,000 to complete this documentary. This isn't just a family archive. It's a professional film designed to inspire anyone facing their own darkness and to bring urgent awareness to the Parkinson's community. A portion of every dollar raised will go directly towards Parkinson's research, and another portion will provide Nelson with the accessible technology he needs to stay connected with the community that he loves. Your contributions help us cover the costs of professional post-production, expert interviews, and distribution so we can get the message to the widest audience possible. Whether you can donate or simply share the video, you are helping honor a man who never stopped lifting others up. Let's help Nelson tell his story one last time. Thank you. Yeah, and that's it. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to be working on this documentary for a while now. I'm going to try to make it as good as I possibly can and do as many things with it as I possibly can, including getting Nelson himself involved. I know with that angelic music there, it made it sound like he's already dead, but no, he's actually doing okay, all things considered. In fact, when I first conceived of starting this fundraiser and finishing this documentary, it was around December, a few months ago, and he was in a really bad state. He was not remembering anything or even able to hold up a normal conversation. He had just been injured as well. And Parkinson's is really weird, so you don't really know what's going on. Things are constantly changing. There's new crazy symptoms, tons of crazy mental symptoms, physical symptoms. It's extremely debilitating, and it's quite often changing as well. So I had recorded some footage with some friends of mine, that being Lee and my good friend Ken. We filmed my dad participating in this ride for Parkinson's, where he rode this really dangerous e-bike that has a throttle on it too as well as pedals. Like you could pedal it or you could rev the throttle and go like 40, 50 easily kilometers per hour. Anyways, I was tired of hearing him crash on it. He would always crash on it. He would end up in the hospital. He would tell me stories about how he just narrowly escaped death on this e-bike. And I was getting tired of hearing these stories, and I was like, you got to be smarter about this. Okay, how about this? If I make a documentary about you participating in this ride for Parkinson's, so this was back in 2023, then you have to promise me that you're going to stop riding that e-bike everywhere, because it's extremely dangerous, and we don't want you to die or anything like that. And he agreed to it, but of course he didn't stop riding the e-bike after it. But we did get some amazing footage that weekend. We got multiple interviews and footage of his speeches. We filmed him riding his bike with drones, following him around with our cars. We got lots of good stuff, obviously, as you saw by that trailer. But this last December, it just came to me that I need to finish this film. I don't have the means to do it, especially, how things are going with the economy, with work. I'm not going to say exactly what I do for work, but, it's difficult as usual. And I would just love to see this get off the ground. It's something positive for me, something positive for my family, for the greater community, especially of Orangeville. Because Nelson has been a staple in Orangeville. He used to go out multiple times a week going busking in front of random businesses in Orangeville. He'd find a spot, and until they kicked him out, or, until he wouldn't get any donations dropped in his top hat or whatever he used to collect donations, he would go and busk and play harmonica in front of businesses like 3-4 days a week, and he would get there by any means possible. Once he lost his driver's license because he has Parkinson's, he would take his e-bike, he would take his scooter, he would take anything, he would walk all the way there with his walker and all of his equipment. And it got to the point where, like, once or twice or 3 times every month, the ambulance would be literally driving him back to our house. Like, the people who drove the ambulance, because people would call the ambulance on him against his will, they would see him fall. They would see him looking very sketchy. He would have gone stuck somewhere. Some good Samaritan would, like, take them home in their truck, or the ambulance would literally drive him right to our house or to the hospital, depending on the situation. But that's what kind of guy he was. He pushed it as much as he can, and now he's in a safer place. He's in a long-term care home, like right near where my mom lives, so we go and visit him all the time. But we want to take him out into the world and finish his journey, finish everything on a high note. And I have some great ideas for it. I'm sure a lot of you guys watching here know a lot of my work. You've seen the Road Rage Terror Tour. You've seen what I can do. You've seen Son of Plaid. So imagine what we can do with this. And of course, a portion of all the proceeds are going to go to Parkinson's charity. And for helping Nelson live a better life by giving him some technology that, like, accessible phones where he can actually use a cell phone and, like, go on YouTube or Facebook without it just getting completely destroyed. Because you can't give somebody like him a smartphone without it getting completely destroyed with viruses, because they just mess everything up immediately. Their minds aren't working correctly in order to be able to even use them. Yet he wants to do all these things with them. He wants to stay in contact with people. He wants to be able to play music. so that he can play along himself with it. But yeah, I have high hopes for this documentary. I already have people who want to be part of it, who want to get Nelson involved with whatever they can. I have all his old weightlifting buddies all lined up and ready to be interviewed and be part of this documentary. I have other pillars of the community who are ready to go for this. And I'm going to be reaching out to experts, medical experts about Parkinson's disease. I want to talk to the mainstream Parkinson's experts, and I want to talk to the alternative healing Parkinson's experts, because I think there's a lot of expertise that can be had from both of those different groups. Dr. Genstein says, "Respect, my man. Noble cause." Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it has been difficult trying to get this launched. I've never done something like this before. I never put my own life, my own family life, on the line. It's not really on the line, but just out there for people to feel bad about this before. Feel bad, feel good, feel intense emotions about my personal life. But I feel like this really needs to be done. This is the story that makes the most sense. It's what I care about the most in my own life. And I think it's going to be really good. And it's probably one of the better grifts out there. You should see some of the other grifts that I've seen lately. They're getting a bit more edgy, though. I've found this one guy, I don't even know what to think about it. It's probably better to solicit donations for my dad's Parkinson's documentary than whatever the hell this is. So apparently you could just do anti-Semitic content for gambling now. $20 bill? So there's a new phenomenon of absolute slop racism and slop anti-Semitism. And this will go viral. This won't get banned. You can do whatever you want, basically. Except you're promoting some kind of gambling website. Oh, cool. So, is that a $20 bill? So this guy, he just finds money on the ground and he turns into a super Jew. Oh, cool. Is that a $20? And this is what his content is like. Oh, cool. Is that $100? So this has almost 1 million likes on Instagram. And there it is. Every joke is just the most anti-Semitic thing you've ever seen. And by the way, this is definitely a real Jew. This is a real Jew profiting off of anti-Semitism. But every video has him promoting this stake.us thing. And it's the same. There's at least a dozen accounts that I've found at this point, a dozen influencers that they flirt with racism, they flirt with anti-Semitism, but they ain't like us. They ain't like us. And all their skits and their sketches that are repetitive, they're extremely edgy, but they're very repetitive. There's always some gambling website that is being inserted into it. So there it is. And you could click on any video here, and it's going to be the same thing.
Excuse me? I'd love to interrupt. Would you like a Goyslop Jew bag?
So that's pretty funny. Would you like a goy slop Jew bag? You go around to people, you film yourself. Would you like a goy slop Jew bag? It's got a cigarette, a shooter. It's got goy slop in it. It's got the happy merchant rubbing his hands together.
I'm a Jew.
Yeah, what do you mean? Look, there's a free cigarette and a shooter. Don't you love free stuff?
What is this?
It's a goy slop Jew bag. It's free.
But I'm a Jew. I don't do goy slop.
Yeah, here, take it. Me?
So I guess it's kind of funny, but it's like now we've gotten so far now to the point that Jews are taking away anti-Semitism from us goys, and now they're profiting off of it. They're using it to promote gambling websites. And what you'll find is these gambling websites, stake.us, RainBet, those are the two main ones that I've seen. They're all owned by Kick.com, this new streaming website where Aiden Ross is one of the top guys. And that's the website that streamed all these crazy nog fights that have happened recently, including Gypsy Crusader versus that black guy. So Gypsy Crusader, the guy with the swastika tattoo on his chest, and he beat up that black guy. And it was a huge event. All the boys that I hang out with, we went and watched that fight together, and we had a bucket of KFC because that's what Gypsy Crusader gave to the black guy at the weigh-in, at the press conference. He gave the black guy a bucket of KFC, and it's great racist entertainment. It's great slop. But this Kick.com streaming website that promotes like all this degenerate kind of content, that it kind of flirts with the ideas that we actually believe in, the ideas that we actually stand by, that we think are going to save our society, which is ethno-nationalism, which is being against the great replacement of the European peoples across European countries. They use those kinds of concepts and flirt with them. They make comedy about them. They make it into a spectacle. But then it all goes back to gambling. Gambling, degeneracy.
Excuse me? I'd love to interrupt. Would you like a goy slop Jew bag?
Would you like a goy slop Jew bag? Just look at it. Cutting tips and eating how Jews be moving in 2026. Cutting tips and eating foreskin. Kissing the wall. Using code Jew on stake.us. See, there's literally a code Jew promo code to gamble. Like, at least we could say this is how far we've come. To the point that they're using like our jokes in order to promote their own shit. They have to. You would not see this 5 years ago. This would be totally canceled. You would never have like a $1 billion business like Kick, Stake.us. I think it's Kick and Stake. Kick is the streaming platform. Stake, which also owns RainBet, they are the gambling platform. They own all this shit. You would never get away with this 5 years ago. But I think that the pendulum has swung so far, the needle has gone further to the right, that this is how they're coping. At least we're going to make money off of all these people. At least we got to get them, drinking Monster and, fucking gambling on these crappy websites. Here's another one that I've seen that particularly pissed me off. Introducing slop girls. So we have this chick, Olivia, whatever her name is. So this has over millions of views, over 300,000 likes. She's wearing the Burger King hat. We all know about the Burger King hat guy, right?
Nigger! Kick that nigger bitch off the plane!
We all remember that incident. It became a viral meme. The guy wearing the Burger King hat on the plane. in South Africa, and he's screaming about kick that nigger bitch off the plane. So this chick is just basically trying to cash in on his meme, on his joke, and it literally has 320,000 likes.
Snickers bitch off the plane. Got it?
She's eating a Snickers, right? Kick this Snickers bitch.
I'm trying to get that Snickers bitch off the plane. Got it? I'm trying to get.
And there it is. That's the comedic genius right there. Where's my Oh. Oh, looks like it.
Selling my soul.
Okay, it looks like my soundboard is crashing out right now.
Bullshit pay so I can say.
Do I have a laugh track on this one? I don't have a laugh track. Well, either way, this is what the content is. And if you just go look at any other one of her videos, it's like, remember who you are, white ass nigga going hard as fuck. Drinking Monster, wearing the Burger King hat in every video. Oh, and playing the rain bet video games that are all for gambling in the background. Every single video. So this is like a new genre of semi-racist entertainers that are trying to court people who actually understand our beliefs, who are open to them, back into gambling, back into goy slop, while trying to be ironic about it. But I don't know, is it a good thing? Is it a good thing to have slop girls? And by the way, I know she did this video here, where it's like trolling black supremacists with her black friend. There's one video where she's like, my assistant, my editor, is doing this or that, and she's literally in bed with this black guy. And then all her comments are like, you betrayed the crown. You betrayed the Burger King crown. So she's not even about that life.
Because I'm white?
I'm not letting them take you. It's her, you're going to have to go through me. Not happy.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Oh, shit. Jazz! Yo, Captain!
I got
So they're trolling a bunch of black supremacists. I don't
you
know.
from over here. I'll come back here when I get my M4 without being a whore, and I'll give you guys all like a cool ride in it. Black people invent any cars?
Black people invented everything.
What car? Like, Germans got BMW, Audi. All right, guys, $2,000 hand on rain bet while we wait.
Okay, so rain bet. This has 20,000 likes. Why? With, like, the only reason it's here is because of product placement.
Because, oh, shit. We got to stand that. Boom. $1,000 up. I feel very oppressed. I'm glad I wasn't black back in the day.
Exactly. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, can you feel her? You're wrong if you're not making right. When did I agree? I'm just saying.
I'm so excited to come here, like, meet you guys, like, ecstatic, and now I don't want fried chicken anymore.
What that got to do with this?
A lot, bro.
Watermelon.
Yeah.
What that got to do with this? This video? Oh, that's why you got the hat on. You white people, man.
I don't really like racism, guys. It's not funny anymore. Just kidding, it's still funny. I have to leave because I'm white.
So this is what we're dealing with now. They're trying to take our racism away from us. They're watering it down, and they're trying to get you to gamble and consume goy slop Jew bags. But we're not going to be fucking having it. I don't know. That was just a mini investigation that I did. I thought there was something to it. Lee is like, he's definitely Jewish. Yeah, the guy who's going like rubbing his hands together and his tongue is swirling out of his mouth, that guy is definitely Jewish. Yes, we know. It's monetizing of the community they despise. It's their doctrine. Yeah. Now, many people might think that's based because that's the kind of joke that, you know, an edgy comedian who's trying to expose it might make. But they just make a mockery out of it. You know, it is funny, and they know that it's funny. So they're just taking it over and they're directing it towards, filling their pockets for one, and also gambling websites. So taking your money from you. Because, if you're participating in a gambling website, you're not the one who's winning. Maybe if you're a really good poker player, you're the one who's winning and you play poker all the time and, you know what you're doing. But, sorry, if you're on these gambling websites, you are not the person who's in charge in that transaction. And let's just give a shout out to the real Burger King.
Get the fuck out of my seat!
Yeah. So this chick, I've never actually heard her say nigger. She's never said it. In fact, all her skits are like, I'm wearing the hat. Oh, I'm about to say it. I said Snickers. No, you just say the word fucking nigger. You can't even fucking say it.
Nigger!
That is stolen nigger valor. And I'm not having any of it. So I'm going to give respect to the true veteran of saying nigger on airplanes. It's the real Burger King
Get the fuck out of
guy. I have no idea what his actual name
my
is.
seat! Kick that nigger bitch off the plane!
Sir, please
Nigger!
stop. Hey, that's not necessary.
So he's launched someone's whole social media career grifting off of him with that one viral situation. Oh no, I thought that was worth an investigation. All that talk about my father, though, and how he's dealing with Parkinson's, he's dealt with it for 25 years. There's so many symptoms, physical and mental. And I've seen other people suffering from degenerative diseases. And I can understand why some of them want out early. I can understand why people who are at the end of their rope, who are at the end of their life with a terminal disease, why they would want MAID to end it on their own terms. But I feel like Canada, especially, the living conditions have been deteriorating so much where it's like people don't even have a choice anymore. Like, if you're already dealing with health issues and you don't have money to deal with it, you don't have a comfortable living space to deal with it, that just compounds upon the problems of living in that situation in the first place. The statistics for people pursuing MAID within Canada have been skyrocketing. I've seen a graph where it's just like from 2018, 2019, I think around when it first started, each year it just goes up exponentially. It says that we are about to exceed 100,000 euthanasia deaths here in Canada. In 2024, over 15,000 people chose MAID. And that's 5% of all the deaths of that year. When just 5 years before, it was next to zero. I think it was zero because you weren't allowed to do that. About 45 Canadians are being euthanized daily with MAID. And more doctors are offering that to people. My dad has been offered MAID. Of course, several times. He's told me that. They've offered MAID to people in really inappropriate situations. Like, for example, a Paralympian. She was waiting to get some adjustments into her home, and it was taking forever, and doctors offered her, or at least told her the wonders of MAID, right? These became national news stories. In 2023, 65 patients in the province of Ontario died the same day that the request was made, and another 154 the following day. Now, someone actually made a pretty good video about MAID.
This week, we took the first step
for the Ontario Party with Derek Sloan. And this definitely wasn't me who made it. It certainly wasn't. But it's a pretty good video, so you guys should check it out right now. I'm going to play it.
This week, we took the first steps with our MAID in Ontario plan, a plan for economic growth, renewal, and recovery. Because when you say MAID in Ontario, it means something more these days.
Medical assistance in dying.
My son got approved for euthanasia.
Medical assistance in dying, or MAID.
Medically assisted dying. Some believe it is their only option to living in poverty.
There are many ways for you to do your part. It might mean checking the labels at the supermarket and picking Canadian-made products.
His doctor, who knows Farsood's real reason for MAID is his fear of being homeless, signed off on the application in August.
I still want to be here.
There's the Army veteran Christine Gauthier, who was told by the Canadian government to consider euthanasia rather than endure the wait for a stair lift in her home.
As you can see, I've lost my left leg.
Veterans groups in court, they are asking for more than we are able to give right now.
The fentanyl coming through Canada is massive.
There doesn't seem to be a commitment to the community that is here. It's tragic.
New research suggests medically assisted dying could result in substantial savings across Canada's healthcare system. Doctor-assisted death could reduce annual healthcare spending across the country by between $34.7 million and $136.8 million. It's very expensive to provide medical care to sick people and elderly people. The more frugal option is to give them a lethal injection.
As we all know, Ontario-made products are second to none.
We paralyze you first, your lungs fill with fluid 2 times the amount, and you drown to death, and it's a death by waterboarding or akin to drowning.
Proudly Ontario-made.
Why are we bringing in so many people if we know for a fact that we don't have housing for them?
There's no housing because we're taking every single person into this country and acting as if Canadians are second citizens.
The parliamentary body in charge of debating and discussing the expansion of MAID recommended to the federal government that MAID be expanded to include, quote, mature minors.
Canadians will reach a critical fork in the road. One direction continues us on this path of a bleak future for our children and grandchildren. This February 27th, we can put an end to it. We can take back Ontario. There is only one.
So there you have it. That is a pretty good summary, though, of many of the different situations in which they're offering people MAID. And now they're saying that they might offer it to mature minors. From what I understand, there is a track 2 thing involved with MAID where they're offering it to people who are not actually going to die. So they're not suffering from a terminal disease, but they say that they're suffering enough that they don't feel like they want to go on living. So what does that mean? That can mean anything. Anybody could say that they're suffering enough, and then that they could apply for MAID themselves. And there's been a particularly egregious situation that happened recently. This guy, I believe he was like 26 or 27 years old, in his 20s. He's blind in one eye, he has diabetes, and he suffers from seasonal depression. And he also claims neuropathy. So he has some pain and some tingles in his hands and feet. So, a symptom of diabetes, essentially. Hold on. So that's where we're at right now. So he was repeatedly trying to get MAID before, and he got turned down. So he was pursuing MAID with a doctor in Ontario, and then his parents found out about it, and they talked to the doctor about it. They asked some questions. They didn't ask like specifically about like his situation, I think, but they recorded it all. And then because of that, it was like a whistleblowing situation. They ended up canceling his application for MAID, right? And he was kind of mad about it, but whatever. So then they helped improve his life. He had like a live-in caretaker to help him, and he was doing good. He was being very positive. But because he had this seasonal depression, they said when it came to fall and winter, he started changing his tune again. He got obsessed with MAID and wanting to pursue medically assisted dying. Basically, that was all that was on his mind. And then he figured out a way to go through with it in British Columbia. And what the mother is saying is that the doctor coached him on what to say in order to prove that his suffering is so bad that he needs to be able to die with MAID, which is this track 2 thing that they're talking about. And the parents didn't find out till after it happened. So they got a text the day before his scheduled death, and then he died the next day. And then the doctors and the professionals involved didn't message them or alert them till several days later that they had officially done it. So this is what the guy looked like. He's blind in one eye. He has seasonal depression. He's good at one point, but then when fall comes around, his seasonal depression kicks in, and he becomes obsessed with MAID, with pursuing killing himself legally at that point. So what kind of country are we that we're allowing freaks like this, who, this doctor, she does abortions, she helps give birth, and then she does MAID. And she said MAID is some of her best work that she's done. She's helping a guy in his 20s kill himself because he's blind in one eye and has depression and some pain. Absolutely insane. And if she's willing to push that on him as some sort of progressive cause, what do you think the government is willing to do as living situations get worse and worse? As our oil prices and all our grocery prices go up each year, inflation skyrockets, homelessness becomes more and more rampant, people can't afford to have kids, the living conditions deteriorate so that we're more pushed towards drugs that are being flooded in our streets like fentanyl. People are finding less and less meaning in what is going on in their lives. Of course, this is an easy out that they're going to keep on pushing. And then the CBC is going to make it like a sob story, like this. So I found the most recent news story and video about MAID, and you can judge for yourself.
On October 5th.
Should this guy be able to kill himself legally? I honestly think that if you want to kill yourself, you have to go the old school route. We cannot make this law. We cannot make it legal. Yes, there are some situations when you're about to die, or like you're on life support, or you're like living with the most insane torture every day of your life, that, you know, I'm not totally against the notion of doing it in some circumstances where there is complete consent from the individual. But, like, we're getting into a culture of death at this point, when we're allowing this to happen. Now let's watch this. Do you guys think that this guy should have the right to kill himself? Or should he have to do it in the old school way? Should he have to just fucking go in the garage with his car and, you know, start revving the engine with the door closed? You know, do you have to earn your suicide? Or is it okay to make it corporate, to make it government accepted? I don't know. I don't think anybody should be committing suicide, but I think they're making it a bit too easy here. And they're putting too much of a smile on its face as well.
1971 at the Royal Alexander Hospital. What time were you born?
10:10 p.m. My mom told me.
See, who knows?
A meeting between friends spent recounting and reminiscing.
I wore this hat.
It is the hat I mentioned.
I wore like red orange pants. I wore like a red shirt.
Oh my gosh! I
just
swear.
for funsies.
On October 5th, 1971 at the Royal Alexander Hospital. What time were you born?
10:10 p.m. My mom told me.
See, who knows?
A meeting between friends spent recounting and reminiscing.
I wore this hat.
It is the hat I mentioned.
I wore like red orange pants. I wore like a red shirt.
Oh my gosh! I
just
swear.
for funsies.
This is one of the last times John Maloney and Barbara Nichols will see each other. John is scheduled for a medically assisted death on Friday.
Knowing John and knowing as he's a very organized person that way, right? There is a good possibility, a good likelihood that he would do this once he started doing the research and realized where he was at in his medical condition.
John is blind. His vision loss has been gradual due to cataracts, injury, and glaucoma.
I lost my sight totally in 2021. I was going through sight loss pretty much for my whole life. Actually, my left eye's fake. Sometimes it waters up, so sometimes you'll see me wipe it. So, also I have what's called Charles Bonnet syndrome. Like right now, I see like really weird hallucinations, and they're constant. Like right now when I'm talking to you, I see all these pink floaty lights going all around.
John says the hallucinations are so distracting, it's difficult to work, sleep, even concentrate on conversations. He also has type 2 diabetes and a low thyroid. 2 years ago, he attempted suicide and was revived by paramedics.
It's not about dying, it's about ending the pain.
John then learned he may be eligible for Track 2 MAID. It started in 2021.
So that's the one that I just talked about, that guy in his 20s, Track 2 MAID. And this is disturbing because you could have like a family member, a friend, who is mentally distraught. And if they can convince a doctor, a practitioner who is involved with MAID, that they want to go through with it, is the family even going to be alerted about this? Probably not. From that situation with the 20-year-old there, they didn't know, and only because the mom was snooping about it, because the son was repeatedly obsessing over MAID, that she found out like the email of the doctor, and then she secretly recorded the doctor while talking to her about it. Only then did she find out about it and was able to thwart that plan, and he was mad about it. And then he went and pursued it. He doctor shopped it into BC, into British Columbia, like a couple years later. So that's what we're dealing with.
Is open to those with severe, incurable, and intolerable conditions.
Severe, incurable, and intolerable conditions. What does that even mean?
Whose natural death is not reasonably foreseeable. John was approved last month after meeting with 3 assessors.
Now, this guy is a bit more fucked. He's seeing pink elephants. He's blind as fuck. He's probably got other issues. I still don't think you should be allowed to do it. But you're there enough in your head to talk this tough game to convince everybody. I don't know. It says that he says that he tried to commit suicide the year or two before. Yeah, I don't know. This is a dark path to go on. Yeah, Jenstein just said that. This is a dark path to go on. Why are we allowing it?
I saw 3 because one actually denied me, and this is why I know it's a good process, because they don't automatically say yes. The other 2, though, they were like, we can't judge your quality of life, and if you don't think you have quality of life anymore, then yeah, then it makes sense.
So they can't judge. So one of them said no, and then 2 of them said we can't judge. Okay. So 2 out of the 3 of them, and all you need is 1 to agree to it, don't judge your quality of life. They just take your word for it.
Since then, John has been getting his affairs in order, including finding a new home for his cats and determining if he can donate his organs. Last week's news, the UCP government plans to prohibit Track 2 MAID.
I agree with that totally.
Prompted him to share his story.
I want people to be aware of what the government is actually doing. If you have the right to choose to live, then I have the right to choose to die. Right? It's about autonomy. It's about choice.
You can choose to die. We'll arrest you for homiciding yourself after you died, okay? If you really want to die that much, you'll figure it out. We don't need to make this law. We don't need to make this legal. We don't need to go down that path. That's my opinion. Now, the quadriplegic, who is just like blowing into a straw, and every time, like, he has one finger that he's able to tap, boop boop, and he's tapping, and every time he speaks, he's like, kill me, yes, kill me, I'm in so much pain right now. Yes, okay, I understand for that guy, but it's like, okay, you're blind, find a buddy to help you, or do it yourself somehow. You know where a cliff is. Go and jump off the cliff, okay? We're not going down this path. We can't go down this path. I know I sound insane to myself right now, but no, I don't think this is the right path to go down. A culture of death is not a culture that I want to live in. And maybe he feels that way himself.
Here's Turn.
I love this song. This is the song I think I want to play at my day.
If John doesn't need to be in the hospital.
DG is like, get a dog. What? Get a dog to kill you? Assisted suicide dog. Medically assisted suicide dog. That's what pit bulls are for. Type 2 diabetes and seeing some flashy lights is no reason to kill yourself. Intolerable conditions like having to live around jeets. Yeah. And it's white people that are being targeted with MAID. Like, are jeets going and getting MAID? When has a jeet ever gone and got MAID? In fact, I'll say it right now. I didn't really want to bring this up, but there's a relative of mine. I don't know exactly what kind of relative he is, but not many people have my last name. Every single person with my last name is related to me, and I know that he is related to me because my dad knows him. He's like a second cousin or something. But this guy has his own movie made about him. I haven't found it yet. I've found clips of it. But he got MAID. He got MAID, and a bunch of jeets are filming a movie about how they're helping him die with dignity. A jeet doctor helping him die with dignity. Now, I think he was actually dying from a terminal disease, but it goes to show you where the pendulum is swinging. Yeah. They're definitely offering it to white people. Wholesale, and white people are the ones who are actually going to ponder it. Who are actually going to be like, should I not, like, put this weight on my family? They're going to have the empathy towards caregivers and other people. And, you know, actually put guilt and shame on themselves instead of being, like, pathological narcissists. Like many other races that are coming in and invading Western European countries. And of course, we understand the Great Replacement. We know that giving old white people MAID, even young white people MAID, you know, that's definitely not, it's not against their plan. Let's just say that. DG says, the pendulum of death swings at us specifically from all angles. Yep. Whether it's fentanyl and the opioid crisis, the reduced standard of living, you know, it's not okay to be white. If you're anything else but white, you have privilege cards, as the NDP would tell you at one of their conventions. You have a privilege card, and you have more authority than other people to speak. And, you know, if you don't have a privilege card, you're a white male, then you need to shut the fuck up. Now, that sounds crazy and hilarious to us, and we thrive off of rejecting that notion, but there's so many people, so many good white people who are the descendants of our ancestors who created this country, who, whether they understand it or not, they're negatively affected by that. Their brains are corrupted by that. They don't want to rock the boat. They keep their fucking mouth shut while their neighborhood turns into something that they know it wasn't before. And that's how it goes. Their intergenerational family wealth, whether it's by their own actions, by the actions of their parents or the boomers above them, it dissipates. They spent it on a vacation because of individualism and libertarianism. Or they just gave it all away because, you know, they should give it to some African charity to build wells in Africa to create 1 billion more Africans who will come over here later. Either way, the intergenerational wealth of our ancestors is getting zapped in any way possible. It's getting usurped. It's getting sucked up.
Hospital for his MAID procedure, he plans to do it in his favorite chair, with friends by his side. He knows what he wants for his last meal and what he wants to hear in his final moments.
I just feel like I'm going to be at peace, right? And peace is something that I've been searching for years and years and years.
Literally me. He's literally me. All right. So I did get some super chats. Drawfork says, by far, I think I read this, but he says, by far, MAID is offered and given to white people. Yeah, totally agree. Jenstein sends a link. I'm going to play it. He says it's about MAID. He says it's safe.
It started as a simple trip to the ER.
It's not going to be a, what do you call it, a meat spin trolling thing. Okay, good.
For 83-year-old Miriam Lancaster. It started as a simple trip to the ER for 83-year-old Miriam Lancaster.
I got out of bed one morning and put my foot on the floor and had such an excruciating and unusual pain that I called out.
An ambulance was sent out and rushed Lancaster to the Vancouver General Hospital, but when she arrived, she claims the initial treatment offered to her from a young doctor came as a shock.
The admitting staff in the ER had whistled me into a bed, and she was the first medical person questioning me. And that's where it all started, with asking about MAID. And I thought, MAID? Good heavens, surely not MAID. And I wouldn't take MAID under any circumstances.
Lancaster says the doctor had proposed medical assistance in dying as a way to treat the pain.
My mom did not have a fatal condition. My mom is in wonderful health. We just wanted pain relief, and we wanted to know what had happened. It was difficult to identify where the pain had come from.
Lancaster denied MAID and said the problem was later identified as a fractured sacrum, a bone in the base of the spine which is treated through bed rest. While she healed in hospital, Lancaster says she received excellent care and in the year since has taken on worldly adventures.
My daughter and I do like to travel, and so off we went to Cuba in the fall. That was the fall last year. And then this year, in the spring, we went to Mexico and Guatemala.
My mom is full of zip, as you'll have seen when you spoke with her. There's no need for her to be thinking of ending her life.
The pair don't blame Vancouver Coastal Health or the doctor for the proposition of MAID, however, have concerns with how hastily it was offered as a first response, with BC having some of the highest rates in Canada.
Just fucking BC. It's BC. That's where this guy shopped his doctor to. And I did hear about this. This is one story I didn't have in my notes here. But I did hear about this. It's like BC woman who was 84 years old had back pain, and then they offered her MAID, and then she went on to go and climb mountains and do all this shit. Yeah. They definitely offered my dad MAID multiple times. They let you know about the possibility of it. And this 20-something guy in his 20s who got MAID and successfully killed himself in BC, he was obsessed with it. They even said with that guy who had the diabetes that we just showed, the blind, no, not the diabetes, the blind guy that saw all the pink stuff, his wife was saying that he's a very logical guy, or he's a very smart guy. Once he heard about MAID, we knew that he was going to go through with something like that. Okay. Wow. That's really saying something. BC seems to be a really fucked up place for getting people to kill themselves. And it's not surprising if you've ever been down East Hastings. You've seen the open air drug market. You know, you can't even go down there without someone potentially attacking you because they're on drugs or for whatever other reason.
As soon as you arrive at the hospital and you're of a certain age, that is just offered before asking any questions. Now, you're already upset by being in hospital. Nobody likes to be in hospital. So you're already apprehensive. And then to be given a life-threatening question, that
is insane. Like, this poor woman, she's not even... like, she didn't express any desire whatsoever to want to kill herself, and they're offering that. As if it's like do you want this package? Do you want the go fucking kill yourself package? Or do you want that we'll heal you and you can live more of your life package? Treating old people like fucking shit. You know, they talk about racism. They talk about homophobia. How about ageism? I mean, that sounds kind of gay, too. Like, it's a leftist thing, but no, that's literally what they're doing.
Given a life-threatening question, that's why I am going public about this.
Vancouver Coastal Health says it wasn't aware of the incident and say that under current guidelines, staff at VCH may consider bringing up MAID based on their clinical judgment. Going on to add, staff are responsible for
clinical judgment. Okay, so whatever they want.
For answering questions when patients bring up the topic of MAID, ED staff are not generally in a position to raise the topic of MAID with patients. Earlier this month, Alberta introduced a new bill that looks to implement safeguards around MAID that would provide new frameworks to protect vulnerable individuals.
And CBC is running cover, making videos to say, look at this guy, Alberta's gonna stop him from fucking killing himself because he's blind and sees pink stuff. Okay.
Something that Lancaster says should be considered here.
It's that I think that hospitals should review their policy and not be so hasty to offer MAID.
When asked how BC might respond, the Ministry of Health did not provide comment in time for broadcast.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, thanks for sharing that video with me, Jenstein. That definitely brought some more insight to it. I don't know. I understand the need for something like this in certain situations, but I do not want to promote the culture of death, especially where that 20-year-old guy is able to do something like that. Absolutely not. Even the one with the guy with who's double blind, blind in both eyes and seeing pink. I think if he wants to go through with that, he has to do it himself. He has to earn it. We can't be allowing this to happen because we see the numbers going up exponentially each year as it becomes more normalized. Possibly you could have this for people with terminal diseases that are old that you know are not going to get cured. Like, I'm not trying to have no nuance about this situation and just be like a pure 100% Christian Puritan where I'm like, no, absolutely not. You cannot. You have to fight it to the bitter end. Right? I guess the ultimate question is, should the Goyim be allowed to kill themselves? Okay? We want to kill the Goyim. But should the Goyim be allowed to kill themselves? Should the Goyim be allowed to kill themselves? We're going to take a short break here. And you guys in the comments, you could tell us whether or not the Goyim should be allowed to kill themselves. And we'll get to the bottom of this situation. Alright, we're going to play some more David Bowie. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about Jews. We're going to talk about Jews.
Say it's true. They got a message from the action man. I'm happy, hope you're happy too. I've loved all I've needed love. Saw the details fall away. The shrieking when nothing is killing, just pictures of chapters and synthesis. And I ain't got no money and I ain't got no hands. But I'm hoping to kick with the planet is glowing. Ashes to ash and fuck to fuck it. We know Major Tom's a junkie, strung out in heaven's high, hitting an all-time low. Time and again I tell myself I'll stay clean tonight, but the little green wheels are following me. Oh no, not got no smoking pistol. I've never done good things. I've never done bad things. I never did anything out of the blue. Whoa. Wanna next to break the ice. Wanna come down right now. Ashes to ashes, funk to funky. We know Major Tom's a junkie, strung out in heaven's high, hitting an on-time road. My mama said, to get things done, you better not mess with Major Tom. My mama said, to get things done, you better not mess with Major Tom. My mama said, to get things done, you better not mess with Major Tom. My mama said, to get things done, you better
All right, let's get back into it. Just gonna read some of the comments to catch up to what you guys are saying here. Mandated, made for whites only. It's about saving trillions in healthcare. Someone says, I've got type 1 diabetes. Fucking can't wait to get the offer someday. I pity the fool. Right? Someone's saying MAID also has paperwork where you can sign your will over to them and all your possessions. 2 funeral homes in Toronto offering MAID. Walk in, have it done, and get a discount on your funeral. I actually wouldn't be surprised about that. If they're allowing you to do MAID, why would they not allow you to do all that other stuff? Unless you were, like, very obviously trying to scam them and they caught you trying to do that. Lee says nobody should want to kill themselves, TBH. My taxes aren't going to go towards Jeets getting made. Fuck that. No, they should have to stand in front of trains like they usually do if they want to actually go through with it. We're not discounting them going through their usual, life events. So I want to show you guys something very interesting. I find this particularly funny. It's Jews making plays about people that they don't like. Now, you couldn't make this up. So, Jews, the collective Jewry, they find somebody that they don't like, and they'll make movies about you. Like, obviously, there's a million movies about the Holocaust, Schindler's List, and that has been very effective for them. But they can't just leave it at that, They've won! They've won! The 6 million, everybody believes it. Everybody believes the showers were filled with gas and all these things, and 6 million Jews died. Everyone believes it. Yes, it's true. It's true. You've won. You've won. But then it's just like somebody questions what you're doing in Israel. Someone questions what Israel is doing in Lebanon, in Palestine, all these different places. And if somebody who has enough power, who has enough, influence in other parts of society, like Kanye West, right? Kanye West was a recent example of the guy's like one of the richest black guys in the whole world. He's a billionaire, and now he's been reduced to, he's probably has less than $100 million in net worth. But he was a billionaire, and now he's tanked way down. But somebody like that, with that much money, with that much stature, he was respected before. Maybe not by all of us, but by mainstream society. He was like the rapper genius, right? Likewise, there's a lot of other people in society, and some of them you might not have even heard of, though you know their work, right? So apparently there was a whole Broadway play that has had multiple runs, led by like Hollywood actors, about I think his name is Roald Dahl. Roald Dahl. He's the guy who wrote the original Willy Wonka, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He wrote that original book. He's a children's book writer, a children's book fiction writer. He wrote James and the Giant Peach, and he wrote a bunch of other books like that. Probably many others that you guys have recognized, that you guys have read personally. So this guy, Roald Dahl, was a beloved children's author, World War II fighter pilot, and then he was a critic of Israel in the 1980s. So he literally just went off about the Jews and what they're doing in Lebanon, what the Israelis are doing to Lebanon, because they massacred like tens of thousands of people in Lebanon during the Lebanon War in the 80s. So this guy, I guess 50 years after that, 40 years after that happened, and about 20 years after this guy Roald Dahl had died, he's making a play about one day in this guy's life where he had an anti-Semitic tirade. So this guy, they're literally making a play about this guy getting mad about Jews and how horrible it was for one day. And this is being covered by the New York Times, by Variety, by all the top newspapers as like, this is a shocking thing, like this is a great play. John Lithgow, a very famous Hollywood actor, is like, this guy is so giant because apparently Roald Dahl was really tall, so that makes them seethe too as well. So it's just like his tall, lumbering physique accompanied the anti-Semitism, and the anti-Semitism was very lanky and tall and strong and large. He was a giant. He was a giant of anti-Semitism. Oy fucking vey, dude. Like, this is insane. I don't even know how somebody could do something like this. Here, let me show you what this shit looks like when they're interviewing about it.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
Off the boxes.
So this is Colbert talking to the guy. John Lithgow is really tall. And, they're talking about how, Roald Dahl, he took up a lot of space. And the thing was, they're trying to say he bullied everybody with his giant physique into being more anti-Semitic, and he was a crank, and it was very scary because he's huge. Like, just think of the nebbish little Jew writing this, just so seething. over the fact that they got criticized, that they're like attacking this guy's Chad physiognomy. Insane.
Yes, an actor uses his body and his voice and his the depth of his emotional experience, I think, to sound pretentious for just a moment.
Yes. When you were younger, did you ever play a part that you later looked and went, "Oh, I wasn't ready for that part. I didn't have the depth of emotional experience to actually understand what I was doing"?
Dr. Jensen says no Jew bashing. I think we're a little late for that one, buddy. Yeah, I think we're gonna be doing some fucking Jew bashing. Wait, where's all my Jew sound effects? There we go. Anyways, listen to how much they seethe over the lank. And this guy who once criticized the Jews in 1983 to the point where 40 years later they need to make a play about him in order to desecrate his reputation.
No.
That's the other you came out of your mother deep. Yes. Born deep, the John Lithgow story. You're starring now in the
Here it is.
play Giant on Broadway, playing Roald Dahl, the great author. Looking at this play, Bill, it doesn't seem like it's the sunniest depiction of Roald Dahl. If we have a shot here, if you mind looking at that again. There you go. He's a little grumpy looking.
Yeah,
what is it about?
Well, lots of people know Roald Dahl's writing. You know he has his dark side as a writer. Well, he had his dark side as a human being. A man of great charm, great wit and intelligence, but a streak of witting and unwitting cruelty that he's curiously, not so curiously, he had a streak of anti-Semitism, which is very much what the play is about.
So the guy was a little bit anti-Semitic, and that is what a bunch of Jews wrote a play about.
It's a piece of history. It's a day.
And this is what is being interviewed about on the Colbert Report, one of the top, like, fake news comedy shows. Like, this is actually fake news. Like, it's a comedy show that makes people think that they understand news properly.
Charm, great wit and intelligence, but a streak of witting and unwitting cruelty that he's curiously not.
And it's cruel to criticize Jews. It's cruel to criticize that in the Israel-Lebanon war that Israel massacred Lebanon citizens. And that he took issue with that and saw fault within the Jewish/Israeli people for doing something like that.
Obviously, he had a streak of anti-Semitism, which is very much what the play is about. It's a piece of history. It's a day in Dahl's life in the early 1980s.
So this play is literally just a day in this guy's life that he was being anti-Semitic. This is like the funniest thing to me. I don't like. You couldn't get more fucking petty than this. We wrote a play about your most anti-Semitic day, and we will never let the world live it down. No matter, we will get all the mainstream medias to say how great of a play it is. And it's like, shut the fuck up, you fucking Jew.
When in the middle of the conflict between Israel and Lebanon, when Dahl himself, he had a book coming out, one of his major books, The Witches, and he chose that moment to go very public in a book review.
How dare you go public with your opinions when you're about to do a business transaction that might just harm all the Jews that are, being complicit in the tragedies that are going on around the world. And like
Dahl
what?
himself, he had a book coming out, one of his major books, The Witches, and he chose that moment to go very public in a book review he wrote with his anti-Semitism and his strong anti-Israeli feelings in the way they were conducting this assault on Lebanon.
Yeah.
It's an examination of that day.
So he wanted to publish a book that was really good, but he also wanted to call out a genocide, or at least something very bad that was going on. And you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that. You have to take the profits that our top Jews are allowing you to have and keep silent about the things that they don't want you to talk about, because they are complicit in it by making you shut up about it at the very, very least. Wow. Do these people not even understand what they're fucking saying right now? Are they that brainless? Do they have that much of no fucking soul?
And it, as you can imagine, in this day and age, it's extraordinarily timely.
You've done this play in London.
Yeah, it is timely. Yeah.
In 2 different runs in London at the small Royal Court Writers Theatre, where it was such a success, award-winning success, that it went to the West End, had a run there, and now we're doing it on Broadway.
And you won the Olivier Award for your performance of that.
How fucking gay is this? Like, shut the fuck up, you fucking bunch of faggots. And going back to the other post I had here, Parade. So this is a movie. This is the first time that I knew about. There's a play about Leo Frank. It's called Parade, and it's just about how Leo Frank is innocent, supposedly. So, just for the quick history of this, Leo Frank murdered and raped a young girl, Mary Fagan, 13 years old. He owned a pencil factory or something like that, and she was one of the workers there, murdered and raped her, tried to blame it on a black guy. He was part of B'nai B'rith, so a Jewish Masonic type organization, and out of that came the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, because they felt that this Jew, part of their B'nai B'rith fucking organization of Jewish supremacists, they felt like he was getting defamed. They probably knew that he did it, but, Anti-Defamation League, they did whatever they could to try to get him off of it, but he got sentenced to death, but then that sentence got commuted to life in prison, so he was guilty, and then people broke him and pulled him out of the fucking jail and personally lynched him, right? So that is the history, the legacy of the ADL of B'nai B'rith, of Leo Frank. But throughout the decades after, the ADL and all the Jewish organizations, international Jewry, a lot of their anti-Semitism activism and calling anti-Semitism out, it depended on, recovering and, whitewashing the narrative of Leo Frank and making sure that he's considered innocent. So I think he got a pardon in the 1960s or 70s or 80s or sometime way after, even though all the evidence definitely points to Leo Frank having done all of that, and then him and all the Jewish groups like B'nai B'rith and ADL, which was formed out of this, trying to blame a black guy for doing it, like this black guy Connolly. And that's where we're at now. They're making plays about it to try and reinforce the narrative that they want. So this Parade play about Leo Frank, I think it is even more sinister than this giant play about Roald Dahl and his supposed anti-Semitism. Either way, this is like a crazy genre of like weird Jewish fucking pettiness and power and control. Like, they're gonna make people go out and do a play about this shit and perform how great and innocent they are. It's fucking insane. So there was recently one of the first opening screenings or renditions of this giant play, and Rabbi Shmuley was at it, and Rabbi Shmuley was, having a time promoting it, talking about how bad of a anti-Semite Roald Dahl is in front of it on his social media. And this guy named Salvo, this online troll, I've seen this guy before. He's pretty fucking funny. He went absolutely viral, got 4 million views, 100,000 likes, just rolling up on Rabbi Shmuley and calling him a fucking Zionist pig. And this is fucking awesome. This will help you feel better about everything you just saw.
Rabbi Shmuley is a Zionist fucking pig. Here he is, right on camera. Hi, everybody. I have no problem saying it. Rabbi Shmuley.
Say your name.
I'm Salvo, baby. I have no problem saying
What's your
it.
phone number? Say it
Why
all.
would I give a
Say it all.
Zionist?
Say it all. Say it all.
What's your phone number? What? What's your SIN number? Shut up, Jew.
Say it all.
Zionist pig, relax. Why would I give a
Excuse me.
Why would I give?
Excuse me, officer. This man is attacking me.
I have it on video. I have it on video.
I have it on video.
I have it on video.
Oy vey, this guy was attacking.
I called him a Zionist. I didn't
He
touch
came
him.
over to
I didn't
me
break
and I
any
filmed
law.
the
I have
whole
it.
thing.
I have it on video. I have it on video. I just talked to him. I didn't touch him.
Threatening my life.
No, I didn't.
He has to be arrested, please.
I have it on video.
Please,
no, I didn't.
he has to be arrested.
They know who you are, bro.
Please, sir, he has to be arrested.
Rabbi
Let me
Shmuley,
get the whole thing,
what
get the
happened
whole
to
thing.
dialogue?
Let's see if the
What happened to
NYPD
dialogue,
takes
Rabbi
this hate
Shmuley?
crime
Is this your
seriously.
husband? You let him in the street acting such a fool every time, huh?
Debbie, bring it here. This is what happened to me at the Fontainebleau Hotel. I won't
Nobody-
put up with it.
Rabbi
This
Shmuley,
man
why are
is
you
threatening
lying?
me. He is harassing
Rabbi
me.
Shmuley,
He's
why are
guilty
you
of a
lying?
hate crime, and now let's see if the NYPD.
Rabbi Shmuley, I have it on video right here.
I was doing a video about this is about anti-Semitism.
I'm doing
this
a
play.
video
We're in the
too.
middle of an intermission. This man came over.
I was at the play
attacked
too.
me, harassed me. He already called us fucking Jews upstairs. I was a woman who
No, I
witnessed
didn't.
it.
No, I
You
didn't.
called
I'm
us
with my-
fucking Jews.
I'm
as
with
you
my
left,
wife over there.
and he just attacked me.
I
My
have
name
it
is
on
Rabbi
video.
Shmuley Boteches. He will tell you.
They know who you are, Rabbi Shmuley. They know who you are, Rabbi Shmuley. You're making
He
a
attacked me, and this is a hate crime.
You're making a scene, Rabbi
He
Shmuley.
attacked me, and this is a hate crime. Now, why did you walk over to me? Tell him. Why did you walk over to me? What did you say? Why did you
Yes,
walk
sir.
over to me? What did you say?
I said you're a Zionist.
No, you said I'm an effing Zionist. You started attacking.
I'm allowed to swear at
my
you.
Safety.
No, I didn't.
Threatening my safety.
No, I didn't.
You invaded my personal space to harm me.
I'm allowed to say that. I'm allowed to say he's a Zionist pig. I'm allowed to say he's a Zionist pig. Why do you escalate, Rabbi Shmuley? Why do you escalate? Why do you escalate, Rabbi Shmuley?
Officer, Jews have to be safe in New York City.
Sir, I have freedom of speech. Sir,
Jews cannot be attacked because they weren't Jews. If someone's black and they're attacked, that's racist.
Rabbi Shmuley completely losing his mind. It's freedom of speech. It's freedom of speech. I can call him a Zionist. I can call him a Zionist. It's freedom of speech. We're not in Israel. I got it all on video if you want to see it. What happened? I know him. I was at the play too with my wife. You were at that? Yeah. I know who he is. He's a Zionist. I saw he was filming a video saying, in my opinion, a bunch of hateful things, right?
But where was that video being taken?
Just right here.
To you or like?
No, his wife was filming him, and I just went up and filmed him and called him a Zionist, and that's when he ran to you guys right away. And I can show it to you.
Yeah, let's see what you got.
There you go. The Jew cries out in pain as they strike you. So I want to turn to one last topic before we go here tonight. Just on Monday, I believe it was Monday. Yeah, Monday was the 8-year anniversary of the Humboldt bus crash. So in Saskatchewan, there was a bus filled with the Humboldt Broncos, which was a top league hockey team within Canada. And their team, it was filled with a hockey team of, I think everyone was aged from like 16 to 22 or so who was on the team. But then there was different people were on the bus as well. But anyways, this bus, it got into a very deadly accident. All of the fault of this guy, Jaskirat Singh Sidhu, who was driving a transport truck with a huge load on it. And he was pretty far out, and then there was a stop sign coming up at a big intersection. And about 500 meters out, I think 500 meters out, it said, there's a stop sign coming in 500 meters, 400 meters, another sign, 300, 200, 100. So there was all these signs saying there's a stop sign coming up. But this guy, Jaskirat Singh Sidhu, was too busy looking in his rear view mirror at a load that he felt wasn't properly secured because it was flapping out. It wasn't secured. The tarp was going all over the place. He thought maybe his load was about to come out. So that's what he was paying attention to. And it was because he was underqualified. He had gotten all these violations, safety violations before this incident happened. And the company he was working for was completely corrupt in putting unsafe drivers out on the road, and continued to do so after this horrible incident happened. So 16 Canadians died, 13 were brutally injured, and many other lives of the friends and families of people were permanently scarred from these corrupt actions that happened. And recently, Second Sons Canada did something of like an honoring a video honoring them and trying to bring light to what had happened and the need to do something about this. So we'll watch that right now, and then we'll talk about it. We'll do a deep dive, because I have probably one of the best articles pulled up here that talk about what actually happened.
Second Sons Canada are here today to pay our respects to the 16 lives lost in a senseless, preventable tragedy. We are on the site of the 2018 crash of the Humboldt Broncos. We lost 16 Canadians, and 10 of which were young sons with bright futures who would have contributed their own cherished chapters to our collective Canadian story. But because our so-called leaders only care for the Canadian people as far as we can all help their own bank accounts and career ambitions, it was not to be. The loss that Saskatchewan and Canada endured that day left a scar that aches through their communities, their families, and their friends left behind, and echoes pain into a lost future that now can never exist without them. The families of the dead are never able to say, "I love you," to their children again. Jaskirat Singh Sidhu took that from them, and as responsible as Singh Sidhu is, he is simply a byproduct of political leaders who put fast money and personal ambition ahead of the well-being and safety of the very people who trusted them for the job. There have been many more of these byproducts since 2018. There will be more still. Generations of Canadians now and into the future are forced to continue contending with emerging lethal hazards and a rapidly deteriorating society as a result of the neglectful to outright treasonous careers of the always self-serving political class. How many more Canadian family trees have to die before something is done to address this issue? It has been 8 years, and what's changed? What have we learned? We've learned that they don't really care about the Humboldt Broncos. Not then, not now, and they don't care about the rapidly growing number of Canadian families who are left to suffer in silence alongside them, while CBC uses our tax money to publish sob stories about the difficult lives of people like Jaskirat Singh Sidhu. If they cared, they would be running memorials, catching up with the families of the Humboldt Broncos to see what further support they may need. How are they doing? Is there anything more we could do to help? Not pandering to Indian voters. If Ottawa cared, they would have bothered to address the death trap that has become Canadian roads and highways in the 8 years since this grotesque example of blatantly inept government negligence. None of this needed to happen. None of these people needed to be here. But the Humboldt Broncos did need to be here. Second Sons Canada sends its sympathies and support to the victims and their families. We did not forget, and we will not forget.
Now a moment of silence for the fallen.
Yep. That's pretty sad. But I found it pretty egregious after looking into it to just see how little they did to stop everything once they knew it was happening. And how little things have changed since. In 2018, I didn't know that there was a massive Jeep problem. Like maybe if I lived in Brampton or Mississauga, it wasn't just isolated to that, or in Surrey, BC, I would have known. I would have seen it coming. But you know, it's hard to be red-pilled. But just to see how egregious it was back then, which caused an incident like that. And yeah, this incident was so bad. 16 people immediately died. 13 more permanently injured. Very high profile people with lots of skills, with lives ahead of them. Now it's just like accident after accident after accident after accident. You know, accidents. I don't believe in accidents in these scenarios here. It's just one after the other. But it's ramped up so much. The roads are just unsafe at this point. And we'll see why here. How an immigration scheme steers newcomers into Canadian trucking jobs and put lives at risk. Immigration consultants and trucking firms with sketchy safety records have found ways to exploit foreign job seekers, sometimes with tragic results when unprepared drivers are sent out on the road. So this is a Globe and Mail investigation. This is probably the best one that I've found. It's from October of 2019. So this is about a year and a half since the Humboldt Broncos, since that big crash. So Matan Singh remembers feeling terrified he would lose control on an icy highway and kill someone. His new employer had sent the 26-year-old rookie driver out to navigate a semi-trailer through treacherous mountain passes. There was no training, says Mr. Singh, who had been in Canada as a visitor for just a few months when he got his first job here under a temporary work permit. I was scared. I did not have any idea it would be like this. Mr. Singh, who comes from Amritsar in northwestern India, had never experienced ice or snow. He never considered being a truck driver either, but Canadian immigration consultants, gee, I wonder who they were, told him that getting experience in trucking could help him qualify for permanent residency. So a year ago, he got a license and found a company to work in Surrey, BC. Of course, Mr. Singh says he had to give $10,000 in cash to GLT Transportation just to get hired. That's not how it works, Mr. Singh. Then put up with perilous working conditions for weeks on end. I had 2 minor accidents in the first 4 months, he says. In my 6-month driving period, I was only in Surrey 8 to 10 days. Always we sleep on the road. You don't sleep on the road. He has since found a better employer, but he is still appalled that a country like Canada allows reckless trucking companies to send nervous, unprepared newcomers like him out on the highway. Everything is supposed to be by the rules in Canada, he says. But then when I start to work, I find out there are no rules. Yeah, the rules should be that you shouldn't be fucking here at all. And then, yeah, the rules should definitely be that your people are not cutting corners like they do back in India and bringing more of you to exploit and cut corners with, and then put all of our lives at risk. A Globe and Mail investigation has discovered that young foreign nationals like Mr. Singh are routinely steered into trucking by some immigration consultants in collaboration with particular trucking firms. Both take cash payoffs from recruits in exchange for jobs, even though that practice is illegal. That has spawned an entrenched, lucrative, and dangerous immigration scheme centered in Surrey that is exploiting newcomers and putting lives at risk across the country. So they have international students with trucking jobs that cost $35,000 to $55,000. That's fucking crazy. So $10,000 is nothing. $35,000 to $55,000. So our lives, our safety on the road is an immigration scheme that these Jeets are making like half of 6 figures off of, $55,000. The novice drivers are often unable to decipher Canadian road signs, well, shocker, or handle their trucks properly before being sent out on the roads. That inexperience has led to crashes and near misses, according to document cases. Yeah, we fucking know. We know about the temporary foreign workers. These businesses operate out of private homes. They're scamming all the time. This is just the type of employer that Jaskrit Singh Sidhu, who came to Canada as a student, that's the Humboldt bus crash guy, was working for when he drove his truck through a rural stop sign last year, smashing into a bus and killing 16 hockey players from Humboldt, Saskatchewan. Mr. Sidhu's employer had just 2 trucks, and the company had committed multiple safety infractions before it put him on the road with what Mr. Sidhu's lawyer called a complete absence of prior driving skill. The rookie trucker failed to secure his load of peat moss properly and was nervously checking tarps in his rearview mirror when he missed signs warning him to stop ahead. Many signs. The horrific consequences continue to reverberate through dozens of families. Mr. Sidhu, meanwhile, is serving an 8-year prison sentence, after which he will be deported to India. And he didn't get deported, and now CBC is running sob stories, trying to keep him in Canada, basically. Now that they've run the sob stories of the family, which are real sob stories about real Canadians, now they're running it about him because, they don't care about the white people anymore. All the currency of that part of the story to them is gone. And now they're going to play the other side. Absolutely fucking disgusting. And you get story after story of this. Here's another one. Gulzer Transport Inc., based in Delta, BC, is an operator whose dubious public record could have raised red flags with immigration authorities. Between 2016 and 2018, Gulzer received federal approval to hire 20 foreign workers, even after it broke the law by underpaying drivers, and then ended up compensating 37 employees in 2016 for a total of $121,000. Its trucks have been involved in 13 recent collisions where people whose vehicles were hit claimed injuries and blamed Gulzer's drivers. 4 injury accidents were reported to WorkSafe BC. Yep. Just crazy amount of accidents happening amongst these people. And this is before the massive Jeet invasion of 2021, 2022, and 2023 and beyond. Of the 2020s, basically. Several sources told the Globe and Mail that racking up violations, then changing names and corporate directors is typical of some small operators, whether or not they hire foreign workers. Adesh Dole Trucking is one glaring example. The Alberta Trucking Company employed Jaskrit Singh Sidhu, the driver responsible for the Humboldt tragedy. After the accident, Adesh Dole was fined $5,000 for multiple violations that was shut down by the province. The company's owner, Sukhmander Singh, promptly switched to driving for another company located at the same fucking house, owned by a woman he'd also bought a truck with, likely a spouse or a relative. Okay, yeah. 6 months later, that carrier's certificate was revoked. So, yes, they just find another way to get around it, and they let them do it. The Globe discovered yet another company, Gurnimrat Transport Limited, with one of the same directors now operating out of that same address. It has no safety certificate or vehicles registered with authorities. So they have another glaring issue. Dispatch drivers in teams of 2 or 3 so they could drive around the clock, especially during times when highway inspection stations are closed. So, highway inspection stations are closed. They have 3 Jeets in a fucking cabin, and they're just working around the clock, getting underpaid, getting exploited by other Jeets. This is not how Canada is supposed to fucking function. Yeah, so they're all pretty much involved with doing that. Of course, you know, some of them are going to be law-abiding. But at this point, why did you even need to bring them in here in the first place? They're clearly operating a whole bunch of scams and just operating in general how they would back in India, and you brought them over here. And now, this is just eroding the safety of our country over here, of our own people. Just send these guys a MAID. Yeah. Even Russell Peters referred to Indians as an invasive species. Yeah. Well, anyways, there's not that much more to do about it than, to advocate against them being here via policies like remigration. You obviously have to organize amongst yourself in order to stop these kinds of things from happening and to create power amongst yourself because, all the woke stuff, all the anti-white stuff, they're trying to make sure that, all these horrible things that are happening continue to happen, and we make sure that they don't continue happening, and that we can grow more power, more resilience amongst ourselves, and network amongst each other. So that's what we'll continue doing, and I guess that's the big takeaway here tonight. Jenstein says CRJ and I have a rape date. Well, I'm very glad that you guys have that. I don't know who is going to rape who at this point. I have seen CRJ throw some hands before, and I've never seen you throw hands. So I'm pretty sure CRJ's hand is going to go straight up your ass. And I hope he sends me a video. It's probably better than the videos that you send me. But anyways, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you guys. And I'll try to stream more often now. But once again, I'm going to shill the documentary fundraiser that I am working on right now. I'm going to be working hard at this going forward. It means a lot to me. I'm going to play the video one more time as we go. And I'm going to drop it once again in the chat. If you guys want to donate to it, support it at all, or even just share the video, share it on any of the social media platforms that I put it out on. I'm going to continue updating it as we go. But anyways, hope you guys have a good night. I have a long day tomorrow, so I'm going to need to get some sleep soon. And cheers, everyone. Here's the video one more time.
What was I before in my first life? I measure. What was I before in my first life? I measure my life in 2 phases, before and with PD.
What is Parkinson's disease?
Each patient has their own version of Parkinson's, their own story to tell.
I am the face of Parkinson's. When I've crashed my bike and I'm down, I get up myself or begrudgingly accept offered assistance. I am the face of Parkinson's. You who are here today and tomorrow, you are the face of Parkinson's. Every day we show the world what we are about. Anytime you do anything, you're beating back Parkinson's. Whole world's gonna know I'm the hoochie coochie man. 'Cause I'm here. I was told I was going over 70 kilometers an hour. I'm not drunk. Deadlift I did 460. Squat, I did 470. Bench press, I did 310. People have to stop feeling sorry for themselves. I'm the shaky man. This Parkinson's is a real bitch. Slam that thing, man. Where do you not want to be if you have Parkinson's? You're getting to know a lot about me in a